This week on the Push Pull Loads podcast, we talk about possibly two of the worst diets. Also, why you shouldn't stress if you miss 2 weeks in the gym. Three, two, one. Dan, you're doing the base shoulder challenge.
Hey guys, welcome to the Push Pull Legs podcast with myself, Dammy.
And me, Tom Hall.
I don't even know what the hell that is.
I have literally no idea if I pronounced it correctly, so don't know.
What is it?
It seems to be a dance.
I won't be dancing.
I think it's a dance.
I will not be dancing.
I mean, correct us if we're wrong. Straight off the bat, we're kind of what are we 28, 30 ish.
30, mate. No, thanks for reminding me.
Dan's older than me, if you didn't know. By a good, a year and a half now, aren't you?
Yeah, my hairline's 21 and a half years older than you.
Yeah, crazy. But yeah, that's a subject we haven't even talked about. Like, I've just kind of let it go. Absolutely fine. That's why we're coming down this weekend, actually, just to celebrate celebrate your 30th. How's it being 30, Dan?
It's just exactly the same. Just a little bit more depressing. Life's just a little bit more depressing. Yeah, nothing changes, mate.
Nothing changes?
No, not really. Except you really notice that you're definitely not young anymore. Like, I think when you're 29, you kind of hope you are. You kind of feel like, oh, maybe I still am a little bit. And then now I'm like, no, I'm just on the road to being old now. I feel like when you're in your 20s, you're just slowly getting less young. Whereas I think when you get to 30, you're getting old now. Like, you're just getting older.
Slowly, you know what I mean? Getting less young.
Yeah, like, that's how I describe it to people. Like, there's a difference, though. There is a difference. Like, you just become slightly less immature and you're less young, a bit more adult-y. I think when you get to 30, you just realise you're just getting old and you're going to die. I don't know. Anyway, that's a great podcast started anyway. But, yeah, let's go.
You're mature anyway, Dan. Yeah, you're super mature. You're the mature one out of all of us.
Yeah, because I'm grumpiest, I think. I think people that are grumpy just tend to be classed with the mature card, but yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, yeah, mate. What's been going on this week? We have had Easter. Did you enjoy your bank holiday?
Yeah, it was long though. It's 4 days. It was
long. Wow. What on your friends that came down? It was long.
Yeah. We had 2 friends come visit on Saturday and Sunday, but by Monday I was ready to get back to doing work. I was just a bit like restless, you know. Like, I don't know. I had this chat with someone today. Actually, he owns the gym that I train at now, and we were chatting about like being self-employed and I suppose in our industry and stuff. And I think there's a real case of, like, I like being busy, I like doing work. I know I need to relax a little bit more. But at the same time, I don't need that long off work to feel relaxed. Like, I can have a day off a week and I feel fine. Like, I feel pretty relaxed with that. And because when you're self-employed, you choose when you do your work. It automatically feels like you work a little bit less than other people do, even though you probably hours-wise, you might even work more. But because you get to choose when you do that, it feels as though you don't need as much time off. Like, I genuinely don't feel like over 4 days, I was like, by Monday, I was just like, okay, I'm ready to do work. Like, and I was cracking on with stuff. I started doing stuff that we talked about before we came on air. Like, I just did it because I was like, my brain's fresh. I feel good. It's just an interesting phenomenon, like, I think, with our industry, being self-employed. Well, you're not self-employed, are you? You're raking it in. But
I'm working for the man.
Yeah, it was interesting talking to the guy who owns the gym, and it was just a bit like, don't get me wrong, like, sometimes, you know, what you do, it does feel like a job, but then there's times when, like I said, because you pick your own hours a little bit more and it can be flexible, it does feel that I don't know, you don't need as long to recover, I suppose.
I get what you mean. I certainly took less holidays when I was self-employed. So I don't know whether it was just a case of I picked my hours a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't know. I think being a trainer in a gym's a bit different as well, because I think if you're a trainer in a gym, again, you like leave your workplace. You leave, if you go, you leave, and all that sort of stuff. So not going to that place of work is quite relaxing. Whereas for me,
I liked going back in today, recording this on the Tuesday. Everybody was like, "Oh, why didn't you work Monday or Friday, Tom? It's bank holiday." Wait, but you're a trainer. I was like, what? You're not working like normal? I'm like, no. But people are off. I know. I'm people. So
yeah, it is weird. It's just a weird thing, and I think it's something
been there, done it. Don't need to. It's okay. I'll survive without those 2 days.
Yeah, 100%. You earn the right to not have to go in there. Plus, all your clients are away skiing.
100%. All my clients are away anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I'd have been like, yay, come in here for nothing. Good. But those are the first, like, that's the 4-day stretch. That's the most time I've had off this year. Believe it or not, even though you seem to think I go on holiday like every other week, I have not actually booked or had any holiday this year yet.
No, you just only work 3 days a week.
I just didn't go
4-day weekend.
I've just done by 12. But yeah, so that it was quite nice. It was good. Obviously, I just didn't go in. I didn't book it off holiday. All HR will be on me.
I'm sure after this weekend, though, I'll probably need fucking days off. But never mind.
After this weekend, you're going to be full of joy.
Yeah, Tom and his girlfriend will come and visit.
Yeah.
Bath. So
all we're going to do is come play with Isabel and then ignore you. Basically, we're taking Laura out, and then that's about it.
Don't blame you. I don't blame you, mate.
That is it.
Genuinely don't blame you.
Right. I'm going to sieve through these questions very quickly. I did put a post up very belatedly as I was leaving work, and Dan reposted because I couldn't remember. Because we recorded on a Monday the last few times, and then I was like, we kind of just have our intuition that we're like, yeah, it's definitely on. It's definitely back to normal Tuesday. It's absolutely fine. But
I know you don't go bank holiday, Tom. You just said. So.
Yeah, I know. So there's a couple of questions that are ridiculous, or one that's. I mean,
it's not like our listeners to ask ridiculous questions.
So yeah, of course. How many calories could Tom Hall eat in an hour? Which is, I think, going to your Easter calorie challenge, wasn't it?
Well, that would be an interesting eating challenge. I would like to see you do an eating challenge, Tom.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
I got a lot of shit on this one, and I was like, it's all like I said to.
So paint the picture for people who haven't watched it on this show.
Well, if you haven't watched it, go and watch it. Yeah, there you go.
But you haven't enticed them, have you?
Yeah. But basically we did a 10,000 calorie Easter challenge, and
you had an hour, didn't you?
Huh? Yeah, we had an hour to eat 10,000 calories. Yeah, obviously, this is the thing. Everyone, someone even commented on the video, why does Dan even bother trying to do these? It's like, oh yeah, but it's to show people what a normal person next to Mike eats or what they can eat, and this is where people don't quite understand these challenges, because 10,000 calories in a day is easy. I've done it. I did it when when Mike.
In a day would be so easy.
And but people fail that. People are like, "Oh my god, I can't eat anymore. I'm stuffed." Like Jamie Alderton failed 10,000 calories, I think, in a day. And there's quite a few people who failed 10,000 in a day. Because they just can't, for whatever reason, they can't eat it, right? So I'm like, well, I'm trying to do that. Mike's doing it in an hour, and I did 2,800 calories in an hour of just pretty much pure chocolate and a couple of other things. And it's that's pretty good. That is pretty good. And obviously it's nothing compared to Mike, but chocolate is the hardest thing to eat a lot of. It's so sickly, and your mouth your body shuts down. It doesn't like eating too much.
Yeah, too much. There is it it's not hearsay that there is a lethal dosage of chocolate, isn't there?
Isn't that for dogs? I don't know. Maybe.
Mammals, I thought.
Basically
I don't know. The same. Well, you're a little bit more feral than me. You must have a lethal dosage.
Yeah. So it was interesting, but chocolate is definitely one of the worst things to try and have.
I mean, I've said it before, but I'll happily do an eating challenge. Just got to do a date. So.
Yeah, it's like that thing of I've been with you before. We've had burger and chips and a side and a milkshake, and it's you feel full and you feel good, and you've had 2,000 calories, but it's. People think that they just look at it.
That's it, right?
They think, I can do that 4 times. It's no, it's not the same feeling, because you don't feel hungry after it.
So in answer to that question, I don't know how many calories I could eat in an hour, but more than Dan, I'm going to say. So
let's put it to the test, Tom.
I know, exactly. That's going to be the most pitiful eating challenge ever. Mike just going, what the hell? It's going there. We've got basically, or maybe it's a team. Me and you have to try and equal Mike.
I still wouldn't. I guarantee you now.
Can we get we'll get Laura involved as well, Vicky, all 4 of us. It'd be great.
We might be.
Then we might be okay. Yeah. All right. Question number 2. How have you put up with Dan for so long? Well,
it's the other way around. What the fuck's that all about?
I actually know this is one of your clients.
Who?
I believe it's Wholehearted 17 on Instagram.
She's getting more hip thrust in her program. That's fine.
Alicia, if I'm not mistaken.
And more cardio.
And more cardio. Whoop. I'm actually going to get lean. I don't know. It's
because I'm an absolute delight, Tom. That's why.
3 years of this show plus now, and in life, 5-6 years. Yeah, 5.5 to 6 years.
Mate, that is ridiculous.
Goes back, and we.
All I'm saying is, in that time, who's aged more? Me. Therefore, who's more stressful? Me.
But yeah, also we probably haven't had a week go by. Very sad that we probably haven't spoken to each other because of this show.
It's even
How
worse.
sad is that? Oh dear. And then also there's a slightly more serious question, which I actually want you to answer because Chloe, bless her heart, and I've had a go at this before. So Chloe is also one of my clients. Sometimes she is a very good osteopath client called Doug Tannehill. I believe you know him. I think she also trains a bit of boxing with a guy called Greg. I think you know him as well. And another guy called Scott. So it's 4 trainers. So the question is, how many PTs is too many PTs? Is there such a thing as too much of a good thing?
4. Too many.
And 100%.
Have you tried online training?
Yeah, I heard.
I know. I do know one.
Currently got spaces for somebody who doesn't. Yeah, I mean, Chloe, you know my opinion on this. I feel like it's sometimes too many cooks will spoil the broth, 100%. Even though
who eats broth these days, though, Tom? Who eats a broth? No one really eats broth these days, do they? And how hard is it to spoil a broth? Like, it's not really hard, is it?
Pretty hard. So I feel like you can kind of see, especially boxing is a speciality. I don't do that. I've done a course.
I'd love to see you box.
But I've actually boxed with this client as well previously, but not as in coaching. We just scuffle, obviously. But obviously, Doug's a therapist, namaste and all that osteopath stuff. And then I'm an S&C coach-ish, personal trainer. Basically,
I'd sack this and see coach.
Yeah, I would probably get rid of me. But apparently Doug trusts me, so that's why she's with me. Pity the fool. But yeah, I can see the validation of all your coaches, Chloe. But I mean, Dan's opinion, I don't know. Would you have? You sometimes obviously send clients maybe to talk to me or to talk to another trainer or something like that if you want them to do something, but if you could do it, you'd do it yourself, right?
Yeah, I think there's obviously benefit of, if you're an online trainer, of having someone that you can send, a trainer you can send people to kind of give them once over and stuff like that, because online training it is obviously geared more towards the nutrition aspect and
which is
accountability,
kind of essentially what me and Doug do to each other. So I would send for rehab and then he'd send for S&C.
Yeah. And that's where it kind of works. And again, with the boxing, you kind of go, well, yeah, that's okay.
Also, with Greg, I also prep some of his clients for S&C as well for boxing.
Yeah, so it's kind of like there's a carryover there, and I think, like you said, with if you've got an osteo or physio who will do more fix you kind of thing, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just think it's a extremely nice problem to have. It is good from that point of view, but I think you would have, in my opinion, one overriding trainer who deals with the majority of your stuff, and that would probably be, as much as it pains me to say it, Tom. And then he would write your overall plan, and within that would be, right, where does the boxing session fit in? Right, Greg goes, or whoever it is, goes and does that boxing session, and then if you get injured, right, you need to go and see the physio or osteo to sort that out, and whatever, all that sort of stuff. That'd probably be my advice. Make sure that you have one that you probably spend a bit more time with, who does your main programming. But
that kind of relays into how we would have been dealing with it athlete-wise. If we're honest, that's how we feel within football, right? So the S&C coach would decide the whole meso or macro.
I think you're also very lucky that you've got trainers around you who aren't afraid to refer to people who know more than them. I think a lot of other trainers would be scared to lose someone to someone else, so they wouldn't refer out. And actually, the fact you're surrounded by trainers who are happy to refer you to people who know more than them on certain things is obviously a benefit. It means you trust them more as well. So, Yeah, it's not always a bad thing. It's just like I said, make sure that they all sing off the same hymn sheet, and you're not.
I think
one of them's not like fucking keto or whatever.
I think that's massive for even trainers that are getting into the companies as well, because it's very nice. Because I recently have had a couple of people ask to shadow what I do. You probably don't want to; it'd just be awful training with my clients. But it's nice in the fact that I've got trainers as well who will ask me questions, and then I'm far more likely to refer my clients back to them after maybe I've seen them, or basically pushing them back towards, no, I don't need to see you. You can go see this awesome trainer that's been doing stuff really well. It's like as a referral network. I don't think that's. Yeah, I think it's pretty good for new trainers to start doing that as well, especially if you're going for maybe a more accomplished, experienced trainer for advice. The more likely you're going to get a bounce back client from that person as well, if they are full. So it can be a good network to have. Be nice. Yeah, and then final question, mate, was where was it? Was the Beychella challenge, but we don't really know that, and it was talking about fruits, but we're going to talk about that in a bit. No, we talk about it now? We're going to talk about that now. Yeah, basically, apparently Beyonce only eats fruits and vegetables now, which is a vegetarian, right? Or is that's not no eggs and stuff, right? Just fruits.
Vegetarian would be no meat, Tom.
Yeah, I know.
Vegetarians still eat eggs, don't they?
Yeah.
Milk.
Well, is that what that means?
Vegans
only fruits and veg. Is this vegans?
No, yeah, well, no, not even vegans, is it? Because you're not even eating fucking anything else.
What's the mad ones that only eat stuff that falls off
trees?
Fruitarians. Is that what it is?
Yeah, something like that, isn't it?
You can only eat things that are naturally dead. Naturally dead?
Naturally dead.
That means roadkill. No, you can't have that. But if something dies of old age on the road,
fallen from the tree or something.
Yeah, it has to have fallen from the tree. It can't be picked.
Can't be pulled off. You can't be pulled off.
There's one in Notting Hill. I know that. There's a girl who tries to date Hugh Grant in Notting Hill that's a fruitarian.
Yeah. Yeah, and she was real cool, wasn't she?
She was real cool. Dated Hugh Grant.
I can't remember I saw a post with it, but I can't find it now.
Well, we can talk about the most. Well, there's two ends of the extremes, and as our resident nutritionist, we'd like you to talk about the carnivore diet, which is essentially just eating all meat, and then maybe the fruitarian diet.
I mean, both are just absolutely obscene and ridiculous. Like, why would you go from like one extreme to the other? I don't understand how people think that's healthy. Like, I don't understand it. Like, we got to where we got on the food chain because we ate fucking fruit and veg that fell off a tree. Like, ridiculous. Anyway, and the other one I hate as well is this whole argument of like, oh, you eat the milk of other animals, like we're the only animal that does that. No, we're the only animal that has access to do that because we're smart enough to do that. I think a lot of other animals would do it if they knew how to, but they're not fucking smart enough. One, because they don't have thumbs to do anything, to fucking actually milk an animal, and two, like, again, they don't have the resources available to keep it or to give it to their young or whatever. But anyway, that's another argument for another day. And then the whole fruit and veg thing, like, again, if I had to pick one, carnivore, fruit and veg diet, I'd pick the carnivore diet because it sounds more fun.
100% sounds more fun. So I feel like I realise this is a dumb way of thinking, and it's probably just been laid onto me by lots of awful advertising and people being this. I feel like you would be more healthy. You'd be healthier on the fruit and veg one than the carnivore one.
I don't know though. I don't know.
I feel like I'm confused. I feel like this might be somebody getting at me.
I think there's a lot of obviously there's a lot of animals in the world that just eat meat and they thrive.
There's also a lot of animals in the world that just eat fruit and veg.
Well, no, exactly. But which ones are we more like?
That's the whole hunter argument, right? The eyes are on the front of the head, so therefore we hunt.
I don't. And obviously we've evolved to like thrive off both. I think that's the point, is that we can thrive off both. But I do think that there's an element to, and I hate that whole thing of like, an elephant's bigger than a lion and an elephant just eat leaves. You shut up. Like, that doesn't mean that the protein in plants is better, does it? You know that you hear that stupid argument, don't you? But no, if I had to suggest which one I think humans would thrive on more,
I think thrive's a strong word, mate.
survive on better.
Yeah, there we go.
I would probably guess. I really want it to be the carnivore, but I actually think there's probably more humans in the world that just eat fruit and veg than just eat meat.
Yeah.
I don't know what that says about it, though. If that means it's good or bad, if there's just more fucking idiots out there.
I think that what that says to us is we're based off the research, or the evidence suggests that people tend to do that more. But probably not for health reasons.
So the only reason I'm going to sway more towards the fruit and veg, but only because...
This is like rock and hard place, isn't it?
It is, mate. It is, definitely. Only because I just think that, again, with all that you just said about research and evidence and stuff, I think that there's probably a little bit more to suggest that fibre and fruit and veg is a bit better for us.
I feel like
loads and loads of meat.
Just because of maybe the micros and some of the vitamins and minerals might be more apparent within.
But luckily, we don't ever have to make that decision. The obvious decision is to go somewhere in the middle, and that's fine.
But that's not the game, Dan. Come on, mate.
I know it's not.
We live in extremes.
I know. I love extremes, to be fair, because that's the best way to. Yeah. That's the best way to put your point across on Instagram.
Yeah.
Is extremes.
100%.
But yeah. It's funny, isn't it? It's a funny one. Like I said, if I had to pick one, just on taste alone, it would definitely be meat. Like,
yeah, I think I wouldn't miss my grapes as much as I'd miss mistakes.
No, 100%, 100%.
But then
I think I
can't have wine, can I?
I think your guts would, though.
Can I have wine?
No, obviously not. That's not meat.
Fruit and veg one.
You can drink blood from an animal. I mean, that'd be alright.
All right, yeah, blood and milk.
You can't even have milk, mate, can you?
It's from the animal. Was that the? I'm lost on these details now.
No,
come on, I need more parameters. It's not meat.
Because if a lion kills an antelope or whatever they kill, it's not going to fucking suck on a tit of it, is it? It just eats it.
I don't know.
When it doesn't, does it? You've seen on David Attenborough. Have you not watched Our Planet? They just kill it and they rip it to pieces. They don't fucking sit there and
some milk.
They don't squeeze its teats, do they? Get all the milk out.
I guess not.
Carnivore, meat only, mate. Meat only, right?
Yeah. But I thought that it turned into another game where I thought you were just kind of suggesting that I was allowed to have anything from the animal or anything from the plants. So
well, because if there's anything from the animal, then animal wins hands down because you got yogurt, cheese. You got your steak's got cheese on there, and you're laughing. Like you've got so I think I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, that's very true. So it'd have to go through some sort of process, but you'd be okay. Process, Jesus, crazy, mate.
And eggs as well, don't forget, from chickens.
Eggs come from chickens, and other birds, I believe, and reptiles. You'd be alright. Yeah. It's an interesting game, though, isn't it? What diet would you least like to have?
Probably that fruitarian one.
The fruitarian one?
I just wouldn't enjoy that. Just veg, or if it was just raw veg as well. You know, people to take it even further to the extreme. Ridiculous.
Like the raw vegan types. But yeah, I can't. You can't get excited by just I got some grilled broccoli just sitting there.
Yeah, we've got a lovely fruit salad.
Yeah,
said no one ever.
Doesn't happen, does it? It's a shame. But we've also just come out of Easter, mate. So we need to talk about some post-Easter nutrition, how to recover from what you've just been doing. Also, it's kind of holiday season, so we can start talking about that. And I think what can happen in your training as well, and what you actually don't have to do if you've been doing your training correctly. Maybe not just following... what were you ranting about earlier? People not progressive overloading properly because they're copying people's workouts, Dan. Oh.
Yeah,
I copy your workouts all the time.
No, you don't, because I don't post them anymore.
I know you don't post them. So boring, mate. I know. You got rid of your artsy one as well. I want to do that. I'll bring that back.
Yeah, I might start. I might actually start filming more workouts now. I'm actually doing them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that might change soon. But yeah, I did. So I sent. I've got an email list now as well. By the way, I send out loads of really good content on my emails. So if you want,
I'm not subscribed to that, mate.
If you want, don't subscribe to it. I don't want you on it.
Can I reply? Can you reply to it?
Yeah, you can.
Please, everybody that's listening to the show, please reply.
Yeah, but if you go onto Instagram and you click the link on my bio, you can sign up to the email list and you get cool emails from me. And actually, to be fair, I was a bit worried about doing it initially. I only started it to get practice at writing better, and I don't usually write good, so I wanted to make sure I write it good.
Dan's also learned how to screen record on his phone, so he's
doing that. You saw that as well, right? So I initially started it as just kind of like a way to get better at writing, and actually already it turns out that I've had quite a few emails, people saying that they're good and that they enjoy them, and they're actually already well written and stuff, which is really good to hear, because people have said they're easy to read and they're funny and entertaining, and well, I mean, that's debatable, but I don't put that content anywhere else, because again, it's not the kind of thing you would write on Instagram. People wouldn't read it. It's no ab pictures or anything, but it's easy to read, easy to understand, stuff like that. And basically, the email I sent out yesterday to the list was about Easter, and it was about this whole the conversations you overhear all the time that people have, and like trainers as well love giving their opinions about stuff. Or if you're going to eat this many eggs, you need to do this many burpees to burn it off, or you need to do this workout, or you shouldn't have any eggs, or you should have loads of eggs, or you should be eating whatever you want. And it's like, do what the fuck you want. You're an adult. Like, if you want to have an egg, have one. If you want to have 12, have 12. If you don't want any, don't have any. But it's this whole thing around, and I went into quite a bit of detail in it. Not in a boring way either. I actually told it as quite an interesting story. So if you want those emails, link in bio again. No,
you got code for it as well. Like,
yeah, code my. It's about how people like view themselves and you as like equals on the social like spectrum. So like people at work and stuff, if they see you not eating eggs, for example, they try and like bring you down, and they'll try and make you eat eggs and stuff like that, because you're trying to positively change what you're doing.
Chocolate eggs, yeah.
Chocolate eggs. Yeah, don't be eating hard-boiled eggs at Easter. A waste of time. If you're doing that you're seen to be better in yourself, and they kind of view you as equals, and they're not. They don't want to change themselves. They're lazy. They can't be asked to change. So they try and drag you down and sabotage you a little bit. And then there's also the other people who are like, who you are eating an Easter egg, and they're like, "Oh, should you be eating that?" And you're like, "Fuck off!" Like, like all that sort of stuff. But anyway, and it just got me thinking about Easter and the whole process. And again, it happens with holiday seasons. Christmases are the same. Everyone's telling you like calories are in this and how to burn that off, and how it's just like, you're a grown adult, do what you want, enjoy spending time with family and stuff. Like, say, a few days of overeating chocolate ain't going to do you any harm, but likewise, not eating any chocolate at all is also not going to do you any harm. Like, you can do what you want to do. It just annoyed me, because I know I've had clients message me like, "Oh, this person said this," or "so and so is putting pressure on that," and I'm like, it's scary how against change some people are, but they, instead of changing themselves, they just go out their way to stop other people on their journey and on their whatever they want to do. I hate journey, it's cringe. On their their goals for their physique or whatever it is, and they try and whatever that person does is not, it can't be right. Like, if they do have eggs, it's like, should you be doing that? If they don't have eggs, it's why not just have them and all that. People seem to have an opinion on what other people are doing so much, to the point where they affect that person's day or mood, and it's a bit shit, really.
It kind of relates into the whole don't let 5% of your like habits like change 95% of your actual life outside of that. You don't really need to. It's just a decent weekend, decent chocolate, load it up. By the way, I went into Tesco today, everything is half.
Well, this is the thing.
Everything is half price today. Get in there right now. And it's mad. It was great. So I picked up an Easter egg for myself. Ate it on the way home, mate. A good solid 500 odd calories.
And I do agree. I did see a post the other day. Easter egg chocolate does taste different.
It does taste different.
It does taste different. Yeah. I can't remember who posted it now, but I saw something and I was like,
I've been on this for weeks, mate. It does. It is better.
Yeah, but I don't like agreeing with you. Someone else said it. I agree with them. It was... We had like some Limp Bunnies and I just basically stole Isabel's chocolate. She doesn't actually eat loads and loads of chocolate, to be fair. But also, I obviously had loads of chocolate left over from the Easter egg challenge.
She's been intuitively eating, obviously.
Yeah, she has. Yeah, obviously. But yeah, I obviously had like 7,000 calories worth of chocolate left over from the challenge video. Yeah. So we've been like eating that slowly. But Easter egg chocolate does taste better. Whether it's like I don't know what it is about it, but it is.
Maybe it's just tapping into childhood. I don't know. Because my parents still... Yeah, I'm 28. My sisters are 30... No. You 30? No, 29 and 31? 30? 31, yeah.
Young then. Young. That's young, that.
Yeah, and we still get about 3 or 4 Easter eggs from our parents each. Which is very sad. Also, one of my sisters also has an on-running Easter egg hunt with her boyfriend. And it's been going a year. there's still an Easter egg in their house that they haven't found. Mental.
That's ridiculous.
That is absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? It just proves it's not a big house. It's just she's really sucky at trying to find stuff. But yeah, it's interesting. Just I do like Easter egg chocolate. It's great, but it shouldn't ruin anybody's. If anybody's on some sort of weird diet plan over this time, then it's just do the normal things. It's borrow calories from somewhere else. Enjoy that like Saturday, Sunday of actually eating stuff, or maybe the Sunday to Monday. Borrow the calories from. So it's actually what I did. Believe it or not, I tracked my calories from last Friday through to the Friday before Easter. I dropped down to about 2,500 calories, knowing I'm in about a deficit of about maybe 1,000 a day, and then I enjoyed myself and ate a load of eggs.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where people, like I said, just stress about it far too much. Obviously, if you're prepping for a show or shoot, or
100%,
you're prepping for something else, it's a little bit different. But most people, what happens is, like you say, you undereat the week leading up to it because you've got plans, you've got things going on or whatever. You don't actually eat that much chocolate compared to what you thought you were going to, because the novelty soon wears off. And it gets to, like you say, day 4, and you might, like you say, maybe you've eaten, say, 500 to 1,000 calories over your maintenance every day for 4 days, right? So 3,500 calories, whatever, it's stored. And again, if you took half of that off before, on the 4 or 5 days before, but then afterwards, people seem to forget that you're full of energy and that you're probably going to have a really good week of training. Like, use that energy to fuel your training. Don't just feel that you have to, like you say, suffer and that it's a bad thing. And there's so many ways that you can do it. Yeah, like you say, Instagram's full of fucking every infographic going about what you should be doing. It's just a bit ridiculous, isn't it?
So true. And kind of looking at it from the training angle, you probably might have taken like a week off or so, if you went away, or 2 weeks off, especially when the holiday season's coming up. And the Personal Training Collective stuff and the PTTC put out a cheeky little infographic, Dan?
Cheeky, was it?
Cheeky. A graph, not really infographic. Essentially what they are, really? I don't know.
Well, that's what they're called, isn't it? Infographs.
Yeah. So in 2017 there was a study based off a bunch of people basically not training. So essentially going on holiday, not training. I got asked this the other week when actually we went home for Easter, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're going away. So have you got a gym in the building?" I was like, "I don't know. I don't know whether there's a gym in the hotel." They're like, "Oh, but that's what you do." I was like, "Yeah, you're a teacher. Imagine going on holiday and then finding
class
and going to a classroom and then setting up everything. Really, really fun, isn't it?" He's like, "No, it won't be." I was like, "Well then."
People don't think about that, do they? It's so funny.
I was like, "Yeah. It's not happening, is it? You're not teaching a class in Greek." Oh, absolutely fine. Very strange. So, yeah, and so they talked about body composition and strength, basically. So 1RM leg pressing. So you got a baseline standard. Then they did 4 weeks of resistance training. I'm hoping most of the people on this, apart from me and Dan, most of the people listening to this show have probably completed the last 4 weeks of resistance training. And then they stop for 2 weeks. Okay, so obviously you've got a baseline strength, and it probably increases with the training, 4 weeks of that. It does happen, Dan, we know that. Our clients show it more than we do. And then 2 weeks off, which essentially, it's called detraining on here, but what is it more probably commonly known as? A deload. If we're at a real intensity. So 2 weeks off, but like, oh Jesus, that's like half the mesocycle you've just been doing, mate. Absolutely fine, doesn't really matter. And what was the thing we would have learned if we did a personal training qualification on something called reversibility?
That you would have just completely lost all your gains.
So is it something about 2 weeks? Post 2 weeks, reversibility can apparently set in, according to research that was done probably in, I don't know, the Tudor times. So with a lot of with that, okay, so that would nullify tapering for any kind of event or any kind of performing, I don't know, sport. So essentially 2 weeks. 2 weeks is when you start to lose your gains. So the actual thing, when you came back to training after 2 weeks, the 1RM increased. Magic, isn't it? It's almost like you had 2 weeks of eating and resting, and it did you some good. And just, I bet this is only on leg pressing, but yeah, it's...
Who would have thought it?
Who would have thought it, that it's actually went up? Yeah, I don't think there'll be a loss of muscle mass. You might lose a bit of, say, I don't know, tone, for the want of a better use like term. You might not look as good as you were, maybe, but you might look a little bit fuller, I'm going to guess.
I've got one client, and I really hope she listens to this, because she's just been on holiday for 2 weeks, and she was like, oh my god, like, I'm going to lose all my progress. I'm like, no, you won't. Like, go and enjoy it, eat loads of food, don't worry about it. I think people get far too stressed about not training. Like, I think it's going to sound fucking cringe again. I think over the last sort of like 6 to 9 months, like,
who have you been hanging around with saying cringe? I don't know. You just with like 14-year-olds. You've been hanging around with.
This is a bit cringe though. Is it like the 6 to 9 month journey that I've been on? No, I'm not saying journey, but like over the last 6 to 9 months, like I've kind of really not stressed about the gym. I'm really not been going that much. I've been doing bits and bobs all over the place, but very unstructured, very, very loose, and really not training to any intensity, particularly that often. And like, my physique hasn't got worse. Like, it's, if anything, it's probably, in fact, people I'm seeing, I've not seen for a little while, oh, you've gained some muscle, like you look bigger. And I'm like, well, maybe not. Like, you know, my weight's kind of maintained where it's been for the last sort of few months, but I think that's why when I speak to clients, I'm like, don't stress about it, because I'm like, I know, because I've not fucking trained for 6 months. Like, believe me, I've not been doing anything that hard or that structured. And like, yeah, I know what I'm doing, and yeah, it's easier for me to like say don't panic and all this sort of stuff. But because I've seen it in myself, where the people that I'm coaching, I'm like, you're in the similar position. Like, you've made good progress, you've pretty good strength, and they're like, panic about missing a workout. They panic about going from 5 days a week to 4 days a week. I'm like, I've been doing 2 days a week. I was like, trust me. I was like, nothing bad happens. And like, I get people say you still look good, or they say, oh, you look good. And they might just be being nice, whatever. But genuinely, I look in the mirror and I don't think to myself like, oh, I look shit. Like, I'm all right. I'd obviously love to be better, but I think clients don't believe me when I tell them that. Like, I'm like, no, genuinely, like, don't worry about missing a workout or going from 4 to 3 or having a week or two off, because I know it does nothing. I know. Like, this isn't just the science that says it, which we know it says it. I was like, but I know also myself that, like I said, I've not been doing anything properly for a long time. Even eating, like, people are like, oh, I missed my protein by 20 grams. Well, I've missed my protein by 100 grams quite often. Like, they don't, you know, like, I mean, people really stress about it. And I think as a coach, I've really gone over the last 6 to 9 months of just removing stress from people's lives and going, you're stressing too much about training. Like, training is something to be enjoyed for you. It's something that you actually want to facilitate, and we want to make sure it's optimal. But it should be optimal for your life and for not stressing you out and all this sort of stuff. And if you miss a session and it causes you to feel very, very anxious and stressed, probably need to fix something there. Rather than
there's something else that's happening.
Rather than thinking, oh, I must go and train. Let's address the anxiety and stress around the fact that you've been to the gym 4 times a week and you couldn't make your 5th session and you feel bad about it. That needs looking at, because you're fine. 4 sessions a week, you'll make great progress. Yeah. And obviously, you know, you've probably seen it with clients in person. I know I certainly have. I remember seeing some clients once a week, and then they do one other session of the week they said they'd do, whether they did or not. And they make progress. They made physical change. Yeah, they might have looked after their diet a little bit better, whatever, but they were still probably drinking. They were not hitting their protein where I wanted it to be hit, but they did 1 session a week of resistance training and they started improving. Then they started doing 2. And again, a lot of PT clients would only do 2, maybe 3, some of them. And I know they weren't in the gym any other times, and they were still making progress. And I think that, like I said, the one thing that I really try and focus on now with people is just to go, calm the fuck down. Like, 1 extra session is not going to make a massive difference. It could even break you. It could even make it worse.
I feel like you have to go through that journey, though, Dan, and to realise that.
I hate that, but it's so true.
I feel like we've been there, where we've been like the 5 days a week guys, and been like, yeah, we're going to do this, yeah, smash it. Oh, we missed that. Oh, we got to catch up. We put it on the end of the next session. And we've been there, but we've come out the other end of it. So it's kind of like, I realise it's not like, oh, we've made the mistakes, so you don't have to. Yeah, guys, but you can make your own mistake, like 100%.
I think that's the thing. I think with a coach as well, I think it's you're still going to make the mistake. You just get over it quicker.
Yeah,
and I think you still need to make it to learn from it and to have that feeling and the sense of what it is. But I think, like, where my clients maybe have got that feeling for 6 months, we had it for maybe 2 years, or, you know, whatever it is, and it kind of helps you deal with it a bit better. But my God, do some people stress? Again, like over the weekend, oh, my gym's shut at midday, what am I going to do? I can't get to the gym. Well, don't fucking think about it. Like, go for a walk instead with the beautiful weather.
Who complains that their gym's shut at midday?
Oh, do you know, it's just like, some people are just, you can
I was mad that the shops were closed on Easter Sunday.
It's just, it's ridiculous how people stress about this stuff. Like, maybe I am getting old, that's what it is. I'm just getting old, but like,
I think you are.
People stress about things. Like, again, with training, you think about how many training sessions you're going to do over your lifetime. And people have this assumption that more is better, and it's like, it's really not. Like, more is not.
I think within a training program I think people have got to identify that rest, sleep, nutrition, training, even just those 4 things, you've got, they're all kind of equal. And
again, they all need to be in like ballparks as well. Like, there's no magic. Again, like missing your protein by 20 grams. Fuck off! Like, you must be joking me. Like, you know, it's all that sort. Oh, my carbs went over by 20 grams, but I brought my fats under. Well, then you're all right, then, aren't you? Like, and it's just funny how I think. And I'm not even talking about people who just want to lose a little bit of weight. Even people who want to do photo shoots and stuff. Like, even people who want to go to a little bit, and again, they stress about stuff they don't need to stress about. If you're doing a bodybuilding show, I understand there's levels of stress that are a bit higher, but even those guys could do with relaxing a little bit about this sort of stuff. And I think people assume that it's just for generic weight loss people need to stress less. But I think everyone, regardless of your goal, like, it's mad. Yeah. So, yeah, there you go. This has gone to a bit of a rant, hasn't it? There's a shock. That's why I need to rant.
Yeah, it's just a bit mad. But yeah, that research and what we're saying is that you can chill out, have 2 weeks off, and you're more than likely, if your nutrition's been very similar to how it was for your training, or in or around those ballparks as Dan's mentioned, you're probably going to come back stronger that you put in the work previously. It's only 4 weeks from those people, and they've come back with a stronger 1RM leg press. Only 4 weeks. That's like 6 weeks of your life, and you could get a bigger leg press. You know that, Dan. Think about your deadlift. Could be bigger. 6 weeks.
I know, mate. It needs to be fucking bigger.
It will be bigger. Don't worry. So I think the last thing we need to just cover, mate, was we had a lot of chat on the back end of the last show
on
our about the sweet choices.
Well, I've never had
number one. All right, I want to go straight out there. I did not make that list. Okay.
Yeah, you got crucified, didn't you, for that? Yeah. I was like, no, Tom didn't do it.
I didn't do this. I realised it didn't have any quotation or where I'd stolen it from. I just screenshotted the list, and somebody sent it to me. It was not mine.
Yeah, you got killed, man. But that was easily the most
interaction that Dan's ever
had. Like, whenever I say to someone, anyone got any questions about, like, nutrition, health, anything they want to know about, right? I might get 4 or 5 questions if I'm lucky, right? This one, I must have got 70, I think.
It's quite fun. It is funny. Usually we get some decent questions for the show if we ever put out those little posts if we're on time, but it's like...
the chocolate one went a bit mad. So here we go. So where is it? Let me find it, because I've got to go through some of the choices, because some of the choices were incredible. Some of them were absolutely bloody horrific.
Yeah, and I can flick through mine as well.
So I had. Oh my god! Yeah, I had over 85 responses, and guys, I want that kind of response to questions for a normal, if you've got any question at all, let me know. But your opinion on sweets is vital, and it's very, very important. I understand that. So here we go. Here are some of the best ones that we had. Those fizzy bubblegum bottles.
So they got
They got a lot of votes.
5 or 6 from mentions from people who sent it to me.
So I got those. I'm sorry, but white mice are not up there at all.
They don't count. Terrible.
Sweet. That's the worst choice you can make in the world. Haribo Straubs was another popular one. Do like a Straub, to be fair. And these aren't really pick and mix, so they don't count. But Percy Pigs and Colin Catlett.
That came up by about 3 or 4 times for me. We totally didn't even, because we were in the realms of pick and mix, weren't we? We were kind of thinking just pick and mix. The kind of, what are they, Candy King things that you see at I don't know, either Tesco's or the basically movie stuff, right? If you go to the flicks, Dan.
I had 2 people say milk bottles. Get the fuck out!
I like milk bottles.
One of my client.
I like milk bottles.
Rowntree's randoms, but they're not pick and mix. So they're just sweets.
They're not pick and mix.
So yeah, another honorary mention for Mawam sweets in general. They will get a good. I like Mawam sweets. I like them. But yeah, the response was absolutely overwhelming to be fair on that. Genuinely, because I started putting them out on my story. I started putting out people's responses because I only get like 10 or so, giving my opinion on their choice. And I had to stop because my Instagram story was getting too full up. I was like, people aren't going to watch this. I was like, it's too much. So I just had to give up in the end. But yeah, thank you to everyone who did vote. Maybe we should. Do you know what we should actually do now, Tom? Is we should actually do our own now. Like, you know how everyone else did theirs? We should actually do our own now and get people's opinions on them, I think. In fact, I might do that now.
We could do that, yeah. That can be easy. I can send you that. Be easy. Yeah, there was a lot of like I had to ridicule one of my guys, Henry, because he kept on going on about those like soft, fluffy things, like the soft mushrooms. All those kind of sweets, and then I had to share his because he went at me on WhatsApp as well. Was like, "What are you on about?" I was like, "All these, no, these foam sweets." That's what it was. A big advocate of foam sweets. I was like,
not a fan of the foam sweets.
They're not good. Jelly babies, yeah, pink and blue fizzy bottles, blah blah blah. Veggie Percy pigs, strawberry milk bottles, no. Yeah, all over the place, and yeah, chocolate raisins.
No, I'm sorry, but that doesn't count as like
See, this is where we need to pick. We need the Revel thing as well, because that's what I said. I was like, all right, what is your favourite Revel? They were like, oh, Revel's still going? I was like, yes, they're still going, but that's you've got to know what your favourite Revel is before you say chocolate raisin.
Yeah.
Not cool. You've got to be able to rank the Revels, which we'll do on another show. Yeah, mate. You can do your own god tier, whatever, to crap tier. Yeah, but we'll be done with this episode. Wonderful.
Finished.
You got any other business, mate?
No other business.
No apart from I will be down in Bath, annoying Dan for a weekend.
That's going to be fun.
It'll be fun. It'll be all right. Thanks for listening, guys, and we will catch you next week.
See you later.